These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? We're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud and women warm, I've been kicked around since I was born. Now it's alright, it's okay.
Two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket, episode 116. I'm your host, Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Folselbach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you, bud?
I'm okay. Just laying on a mountain of pillows like a goddamn sultan. Life's going pretty good.
Yeah, real hedonist over there. Just
haven't had pants on yet.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
It is, as we're recording this, it is nearly 3 p.m.
Yeah. Got things
Nice
figured
work.
out.
How do you think your dad feels about you? That
Angry.
life choice?
He can sense it, I bet. He's angry and he doesn't know why.
it's just a disturbance he can sense and it makes him grumpy.
Yep, just something off.
What's my deal today? That is my fucking son.
Did he do something?
Or not do something?
Yeah, that is the opportune word, is the not do something.
That's the real issue he's got.
Yeah.
It's 3 p.m. and I'm 4 peaches deep, Nathan. I'm
just
living peach season.
Yeah, have you given up on trying to keep it clean, or are you just dripping peach juice everywhere?
Oh, I'm just ruining t-shirts left and right. Just
every step you take on your carpet peels your socks off. It looks like some kind of art installation. There's just socks all over the floor.
just accepted it to a point if I just take my shirt off and eat a bunch of peaches. Got pits stuck in your chest hair.
Yeah, I do that a lot of food. Just realize, oh boy, I don't want to get up and eat this over a table. I'm just going to pop the shirt off quick. I'm trying to think of foods. Like a peach would be a good example of a food I would do that with.
No, I in all honesty, I just eat peaches over the sink. I've just accepted that.
Peach, and you're more team peach than team nectarine?
Yeah, if you put a gun to my head and make me choose, I would choose a peach, but it's a pretty close heat, man. Nectarines are fucking good.
I like a nectarine.
Team Peach.
Team Peach.
Team Peach, Team Plum, and Team Nectarine, all real tight in there. It's a close race.
A good fucking Plum's batting average isn't good, but God, when it makes contact, it's a power hitter.
Yeah, it's good slugging percentage.
Yeah, Plums strike out a lot, but boy, when they're good, they're real good.
They take too long to fucking the timing on a plum. The gap between picking it up at the store and being able to eat it is too fucking long.
Yeah, you gotta give some days for plums sometimes.
I got plums on this counter. I bet have been sitting there for 10 fucking days, and they're still hard as a rock.
Still not ready? Still
Come
not
on,
delectable?
Guys. Every once in a while, I'll be like, oh, maybe, fuck it. It can't be that bad. Bite into it, and it's just sour and hard, white inside. Like, damn it.
You're mad at yourself for doing it.
Yeah, I should have known better.
You dumb plum slut. Can't wait 3 more goddamn days, you little plum whore. I hope your neighbors are overhearing this.
It's the most specific, weird, dirty talk coming out of that apartment.
It's very angry.
Plum slut.
Yeah, it's 2 of them clutching like a clipboard to see if you want to sign up for like the community yard sale. We'll come back later.
Well, you're clearly busy right now.
You know, shirt covered in peach juice. Yeah, you're right. I'm busy.
Oh, you'll don't mind him. Stone fruit season has really gotten a hold of him. He's deep in it. Come back in October when there's no good fruits.
You just walk away mid-conversation, leaving them in your and lay down on the kitchen floor like, is he going to sleep? I think he is, I guess. I guess we shut the door.
That's the life I'm living. Just eating too many fruits and taking big trouble dumps. That's where we're at on this part of the rock.
Yeah. You know who can probably at least relate to you when it comes to troublesome dumps?
Who's that, Nathan?
Homer Simpson.
Atta boy, look at you.
Yeah. And that's a show we sometimes talk about on this podcast is The Simpsons. If we can get around to it, if we can be bothered.
Eventually. We promise that we will always get to it.
It will get to it. Well, let's take a look. We're at the tail end of season 26. We got 3 left at the end of 26.
Yep.
Before we jump headlong into season 27. We're going to start things off with episode 20. Let's go fly a coot. Which, boy, that's reaching. That's let's go fly is like, boy. Can't go with you on that one, Simpsons. Episode begins at Milhouse's birthday party, which did fucking Kirk Van Houten get some kind of settlement? Because this is a Gucci-ass birthday party. Like, all these weird-ass, like, Milhouse themed attractions, like a Milhouse bouncy house, and like there's like a little like drive around Milhouse roller coaster. Like,
yep.
It's like none of this adds up. Where did he get this money?
Extremely elaborate birthday party. I mean, we do cover how he paid for it because he's pounding a for sale sign into his lawn. He sold his house to do this.
And then now his goal was he wants Milhouse to become like a spoiled, pampered shithead kid.
Yep.
Which mission accomplished. He did. So good job, Kirk. And Homer is angry at this. Homer overreacts, and he vows that he's going to make it his mission to ruin any kind of fancy birthday party thing.
I could see this being a real thing amongst like suburban parents. Like, God damn it, they went too hard for their kid, and now we gotta, like, it's an arms race.
Yeah. Did you ever go to a fancy birthday party?
Fuck no. Like, I don't, like, birthdays were just you got to have a sleepover. Like, that's all.
And some cake? God damn it. Tell me you guys at least had cake.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like cake and presents and, pizza or something, like something fun for supper. But never like fucking bounce houses and a piñata and all that. Yeah. Like never had that. I very nearly bought a piñata the other day for no reason. Like just
for snacks.
Just for fun. Just like I've never once participated in anything piñata related. So I was like, I was in a Mexican market just like, they sure got a lot of piñatas. I could just buy one.
I was picturing you like just knocking the head off of a paper mache horse and just driving around eating snacks out of it, like
just eating treats out of there.
Yeah. If you knock the head off carefully, it'd be pretty a portable snack holder, like. Oh
yeah, sure. Yeah. Just like crack it off of there, just real carefully.
like a penny candy decanter. I think I might put this
eating Smarties necklaces and Boom Raz Fruities out of there while I'm driving around.
I might put the head back on this piñata and put it on top of my coffee table.
Save this for later.
This is pretty sharp. So Homer dives into this where he's ruining birthday parties everywhere. Goes far enough to fucking dress up like Krusty, hit him in the head with a fucking sledgehammer. That's attempted murder. And then replaces him on stage with a noose around his neck. Like,
yep.
Multiple things he should have been sent away for right fucking there.
And there's a child in that crowd who goes, "Oh, I was the last kid that liked clowns."
Yeah, that was good. If you notice too, as Krusty's walking, he's just talking to himself. He's like, "Okay, time to make $50."
Yep.
Jesus Christ, Krusty. That's
Hard
the
times.
going rate. You're on TV. Like, you're not doing this right.
Yeah, I don't know who his management is, but they need fucking fired whoever's booking these shows for $50. You and I aren't on TV, and we charge more than that.
I was just gonna say, Jesus, like he should have higher standards than we do.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's alarming that he doesn't. Marge is had enough of this. She confronts him about it, and he is defiant until some big birthday representatives show up in a helicopter and they mean business. I think we hear they're from the inflatable house and maybe the party hat corporations.
Yeah, it's like Big Birthday showed up to rein him in.
The powers that be with the party balloon industry. They show up and they put the squeeze on him. And it's basically, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, it's the scene at the end of the movie Network, like the big 70s movie Network. Like that, there's the line, I think it's, "You've meddled with primal forces of nature or nurture, Mr. Simpson." That's a big line from the movie Network. It's like, oh, that's pretty neat.
I've heard of that movie, but I don't know anything about that.
It's one of those movies for, being as universally acclaimed as it was, and being genuinely a very good movie, it didn't have the legs that some other, it's not like a movie you saw in dorm rooms, like a lot of blossoming film nerds have their collection, for some reason that never did. It's better than it's one of my favorite movies ever. It's that good.
Wow.
But it's, for some reason, never made that jump.
The blossoming film nerds I knew in college, the DVDs that were in their collections were we've already covered to death the Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of them owned Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
A little White Rage.
Yep. That's a fucking good movie. At least I remember it being good.
In my head, it's good.
And most of them, I feel like they all owned one Kurosawa box set, but really couldn't tell you anything about the movies.
Clearly have never been watched.
Yeah, it's still in the wrap.
Yeah, they just got their student loan money back and made a big splurge.
Yeah, they got their overage check and went immediately to Media Play.
Yeah, one old Kubrick movie. 2001 or something like that.
I was about to say it's probably 2001.
Yeah, that was a classic. And boy, it's not a fun popcorn movie. 2001.
Yeah.
It's long.
Like I've said about Kubrick before, boy, they sure look good. But other than Strangelove, I don't really care for any of them.
So the big birthday people, they have now they got Homer in their grasp. They force him to atone for his birthday sins by setting up Rod Flanders' birthday at that goddamn airplane museum. Which there's some good visuals here.
Yeah,
him basically would you say a maitre d'? Is that kind of what he is?
Yeah, welcoming people.
Oh my God. And then and we get oh, look, it's some kind of old timey World War II plane that's ran by the guys that flew it 50 years ago, which that used to be a thing,
Oh, for sure.
The old Army guy or the old Air Force guys that still, go fly once a year. And they show up. It's probably 5 of them, if I have to guess. And they recognize Abe. And apparently
he was in their unit. Yep.
Yep. And I think it's Lisa that's well, you told me you were in the Navy. And then Bart's you told me you're in the Army. And it's that's something I used to say in my Air Force days. And it just says dismissing him.
So good.
So his World War II buddies, they want Abe to join them and have some fun. But Homer says no, he's fucking Abe's guardian, and just leads him away by the strings of his bolo.
After feeding him a carrot and patting his head. It's so unbelievable. And leading him away with his bolo tie like their reins is very funny. Oh my God. And I can't remember, is it when the old plane guys show up and they fly by? Is that what blows out the candles on Rod's cake? Because the candles are blown out right before he can do it. He's all sad that he didn't get to make a wish because he's no. Now I'll never get to marry Daddy. Jesus Christ, Rod. No, it's Bart who does it with a little drone.
Oh, you're absolutely right. With like the whirling blades of a drone.
Yeah, but that joke of, now I'll never get to marry Daddy.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that's Bart and Milhouse getting into some antics, and
those kids are fucking in trouble. Those Flanders boys.
The
world is gonna eat them alive.
They needed Edna, and now Edna's gone.
Yeah,
there's a window to the outside world.
Are you into like aviation history at all? Could you kill an afternoon at a fucking air museum?
Yeah, oh boy, I guess I probably could. I wouldn't dismiss it. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't dismiss it outright. Let's say this. Let's say I got a day to kill and I'm in a hotel. I look up at the hotel window. It's literally across the street. And there's a sign that says free. I will go over there and mill around. Yeah,
a lot of caveats to your air history love.
Yeah. And, it's one of those things I'd probably get there like, you know what? This is kind of fun. This is kind of interesting. But it's not a topic that grabs me. Like,
right. I'm in the same boat. I'm in that. Yeah. I'm in that boat with anything like military related, though. Like, I don't care. Like, the extent of my love of air history is like, I like a bomber jacket and I wish I could wear a scarf and goggles in everyday life.
You never as a kid had that hard on to be a jet plane pilot?
No, God, no, never. I don't think that ever crossed my mind as a kid.
And that's a thing. A lot of kids get that bug when they're little.
Yeah, it's one of the main 5 categories a young boy can be sorted into,
I hope they came to your grade school and you were like in the first grade and the old retired Air Force guy out of the crowd points out that your head is too big to ever be a fighter pilot. Just squashes that bug immediately.
I'm in first grade. I've already exceeded the acceptable weight limit for a fighter pilot.
I like the idea that they don't make a helmet. Maybe I could bring my own. No, you can't bring your own.
No. Get out of here. Go sit in the hall.
This works. Yeah. Oh, my God. And you do.
Just sitting outside the door, just, Every once in a while from inside, you just hear, yay, as the kids are enjoying the presentation.
Yeah. You start making airplane noises. He somehow hears it and gets mad at you. No pretending.
No, you be quiet out there, you blimp-headed bitch.
It's not that big. It's very big.
I'm 7.
So it's around this time in the episode that we're introduced to Annika, Milhouse's older, too old of a cousin from the Netherlands. She's like 16, hanging out with 10-year-olds. That's weird.
Well, you get the vibe that there's no one. She's at a child's birthday. Who's she gonna hang out with?
Goddamn, the Van Houtens dropped the ball. Don't make her go to that. Jeez, I'd be mad if I was forced to attend something like that.
Yeah, if you were on vacation from another country visiting family and they insisted you go to a birthday party for someone 10 years younger than you who you'd never met.
Think of that. That's insane. Yeah.
No wonder she's salty.
Yeah. And Bart is very smitten with her, and she realizes this quickly and basically uses Bart as a fucking butler. She has him go get some e-cigarettes because she loves her e-ciggies, and because Bart, he loves her, so he gets into the e-ciggies too. And I was like, oh boy, Marge is gonna be pissed.
Seeing Bart smoke an e-cig is not cool.
Yeah, off-putting.
Yeah.
10 is very young to start smoking. The old men that were part of Abe's Air Force crew, they'd kind of made a vow that they were going to spring Abe. So by God, they do. They show up at the door of the Simpson house, and kind of the leader of the pack decides he's going to fight Homer, and Homer laughs him off until he's the guy doesn't even punch him. He just flicks him.
Yeah.
And Homer's so slow and out of shape, he just eventually just wears down, just collapses in his underwear on the floor. Like, so now but then like, it was weird because I assumed, oh, that means they're gonna grab Abe and go on crazy adventures. But that just meant that like the main guy, Abe and Homer, were gonna hang out.
Yeah, like they're not looking to like kidnap Abe and go have fun. They're in it to force Homer to hang out with Abe.
Yeah, good call. That's what it is. Like, because they saw how shoddily he was treating Abe, and they thought like, we got to put a stop to that. And the main guy, he's a real go-getter, one of those like, you know, you're only as old as you feel types. He wants to go out and do some vigorous activities, but Homer is fat and Abe is decrepit. They're like, let's just go to a movie. Like, and he's willing to do that. And Abe has to. They're seeing. I think is it the Exhaustibles.
Yep, the Exhaustibles 3.
Yeah, and it's getting to the good part, and Abe needs to use the bathroom, and Homer is like, "What are you talking about?" We're at the best part of the movie. His buddy chastises him. You got to help your dad. And I think Abe has the line where he's like sad, like, why do you need help? He's like, I'm too cold to activate the infrared sinks.
Yep, that's so fucking funny.
And how ashamed of it he is. It's so good. And what is it? He's in the bathroom for 26 minutes. That's such an awesome amount of time to be in the bathroom at a movie. I think he's
like, what took you so long? He's like, I thought The Mirror was another movie.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Yeah. So I think that guy, I don't even know how they write him out. Does he just give up on him, kind of? Because next thing, it seems like they're back at the Simpson house.
Yeah, this dude kind of just leaves the story. This old Army buddy or old Air Force buddy.
So then we kind of from the movie, we cut to Bart having a good time. I like how many like weird European board game type things we get introduced to. Like,
yeah,
like something like where you have like a little thin rope wrapped around your waist with like a nail hanging from the rope, and you have to like dunk it into a bottle.
Yep, into a glass pop bottle.
Yeah.
Or like that weird portable shuffleboard table, which I was pretty into. As somebody who loves shuffleboard, I'm like, yeah, if I could have like a big briefcase that unfolds into a shuffleboard table, I'd take that along.
I like when Milhouse folds it up and puts it back on the shelf is labeled Portable European Games. Like, he has multiple different ones.
Just part of the collection.
And they're having a grand old time until Marge, I think, is about to go walking with, because she has like her ankle weights and shit on, like mom walking. And they're about to leave. They catch a glimpse of Bart taking a drag off an e-cig. And fucking Marge is justifiably pissed. Now then, cut to them at the Simpson household, and Marge is furious and trying to get Homer to get on her side about this and like what kind of punishment they're going to do. And that's when Abe pipes in and he's like, oh, it's a gal you're doing all this for. Well, let me tell you. Cut to some story of him being just he's just the flunky. What is his job? It's to shoo away the desert tortoises from being on the runway.
Yep.
What an awesome fucking job.
And they show him trying to shoo one off with a broom, and the guy's like, just pick it up. And he like looks at him all cringy, and he's like, they feel weird.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Which probably true.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's been
a long time since I picked up a turtle.
Yep, been a long time. God, I used to be made of stouter stuff, Marlon.
Yep.
8-year-old me would be ashamed of what I've become,
Even back then, I wasn't picking up salamanders and garter snakes and shit. Yeah. Even back then, I wasn't. I've always been a pretty delicate fruit.
Yeah. I wasn't like, there are those kids that make being the gross kid their personality, that kid. Yeah, every grade had that kid. Yeah, like, hey, you know what it is? They didn't get enough attention at home.
Yep. So they turned to eating dirt on the playground.
Yeah, putting a dead mouse in their mouth. Hey, look at me. Look at me.
Hey, guys.
Like, that's not cool. Like, quit doing that.
Dude, you're disgusting. Well, bad attention's better than no attention.
Yeah. So he tells him the story about how there's a woman that him and this fighter pilot are both sweet on, and he does this rash thing where he takes off on an experimental jet without any permission to win this woman over, and he does. And that woman is Homer's mom. And,
Mona.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, she sure seems like she was happy there. Yeah, she was happy for a moment until she realized who I was, and then it was a marriage of pain. And that's kind of his thing. Like, that's the lesson is you can win a woman over with a grand gesture, but if you're not being true to who you are, it's not going to last. So Bart's eyes get all big, and because he finds out that Annika's getting sent back to Europe, and he rushes through. Somehow he gets to the fucking airport. I don't know if that's ever touched upon. He is a child. And he runs up to her, and you think it's going to be this big emotional exchange. He's like, I don't like you. You're mean. Which, fuck yeah, Bart.
Yeah.
This was good writing, because I didn't see this coming. Like,
same here. I like that the swerve, because all they ever keep saying is like, you got to just tell her how you feel, and how he feels, it turns out, is that she sucks. That's how he feels. It's
like, you only like me if you need things, which like he basically was her butler. So, and then pretty much it. Like,
yeah, pretty much. Milhouse is like, well, if it's the eyebrows and schnoz that you have that does it for you, I have lots of other cousins. And then he real offhandedly mentions, like, marrying cousins is fine. It worked out for my mom and dad. And then he has a snake tongue for a second.
Yeah.
Dumb.
There's a decent joke earlier too, where it's like, now you know what it would be like to kiss me. I didn't think this was that great of an episode, but all of the Van Houtenness is what kind of kept it afloat.
Yep, there were a handful of pretty good jokes for an episode that I wasn't super hot on, but like at the end of the day, like, this is fine.
Yep. Yeah, you're right though. There's more than your average jokes for where we're at in The Simpsons right now.
Story-wise, it's a little slapdash, like how the fucking Air Force vet just kind of leaves the story halfway through. But like all that birthday party shit in the beginning is really good.
Yeah.
There's a moment right before the big birthday comes and harasses Homer, where he's laying in his hammock reading a newspaper, and it says like, birthday ruiner on the loose or whatever, and then the sub headline is Wendell demands inquiry.
Yeah. It was good to see Wendell get name dropped. Yeah. Then that goddamn joke, now I'll never get to marry daddy. Jesus Christ.
God.
I laughed pretty good at that.
And totally into their commitment to their voice actors. Glenn Close voiced Mona for the half a sentence she says in this episode.
No shit. Yeah.
It's crazy that they are that like dead set on that. Like, nope.
Yeah.
We call up Glenn. We need one sentence out of Mona Simpson. Get Glenn in here.
Yeah. I wonder, and she probably has to come into the studio to get a pristine recording. They ain't doing that shit over the phone.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be over the phone. Maybe definitely at this point, as in today, you can be like a remote voice actor if you have, the right equipment. You can do it, but 2016 probably not. Probably still, or 2015 when this came out. Probably still got to come in.
Yeah. Huh. Good.
I'm sure
good
they make it well worth your fucking while.
Yeah,
how many thousands of dollars you made
for 15 minutes of work
to drive down to Fox Studios and say a line.
I wish I knew it offhand, but like I remember they did the math on how much money Cameron Diaz made like per minute for doing the voice of whatever her character is in the second or third Shrek movie.
Oh, that's right. She's Fiona, isn't she?
Yep. It was outrageous. Like, people talk about it. It might be like the most lucrative acting gig someone's had if you do it by the minute.
Okay. I've seen the same thing done to, I forget which Schwarzenegger movie, but if you take it by the word, it's something ridiculous.
Yep. I think another classic one is Marlon Brando in playing Superman's dad. He
was paid a lot for not doing anything.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in 30 years, but he's barely on camera.
Yep. Those first 2 Richard Donner Superman movies are real good.
Oh, no shit. I remember the first one being good. I know, isn't it the 4th or 5th that's considered one of the worst movies ever?
I think it's the 4th one that people super dunk on, but like 3 isn't good either. 3's also real bad. Not as bad as 4, but it's like comparing a turd to a slightly stinkier turd.
Which one is Richard Pryor in?
3.
Yeah. So he's
he's the one who they're making fun of in Office Space when they come up with the scheme to take all those penny fractions and put them into their own account.
Yeah.
That's Richard Pryor's scheme in Superman 3.
Yeah. So who's the villain in 1? In one of those early ones, it's some people from Krypton that come back.
That's
like General
2.
Zod. That's 2. Okay.
2 is the one with the Kryptonians. 1
is it just Lex Luthor?
I was gonna say Luthor is in it, but I'm trying to think of what his fucking scheme even is.
Yeah.
Usually, if I'm jonesing for an old Superman, I watch 2. So,
okay.
My details on 1 are a little fuzzy.
It's funny that with the success of 1 and 2. That there weren't immediate attempts to make other big superhero movies.
Right. Like after Superman, you really didn't get anything until Batman in 89.
Yeah. Think of that. That's 10 years apart, I bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think Superman 1's like 73. Like it's early, I think.
And one thing though, like so many superheroes up until they came up with like computer graphics, you couldn't make a convincing Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. Like Spider-Man in particular, you had to wait for the tech.
Yeah, or like even like Iron Man would be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like to make maybe like Captain America. They could have made a big budget Captain America movie in the 80s. I guess that would have worked. But
I think there's a pretty awful low budget one from like the 70s that people dunk on.
I think it's the 80s, if not even early 90s. Oof. It's insane to be that bad that late in the game. Because it's right around the same time they made an insanely low budget Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard telltale of that thing too. So,
and one of them, if not both of them, the case was whoever owned the rights, part of the contract was they had to make a movie every decade. Yeah. So they just made these horseshit movies just to satisfy so they could keep holding on to the rights. Like,
yeah,
I'd like to be a part of that movie, like knowing that you're just like a contractual obligation. Like,
yeah, like they can just put as little work into this as they want, release it in one theater, and keep the rights for another decade. Like,
yeah, what a weird thing to be a part of.
I bet I would listen to those podcast interviews now, though, of those people, like whoever played that Captain America. I would hear the stories.
Yeah, like what was the on set like?
It couldn't have been good.
Probably like if you're on a sports team that's clearly rebuilding and you know that you have no shots. Like, hey, we're still professionals. We still got a job to do. We're going to go out there. We're going to give it our best shot. And probably not win.
Or like whatever it's like to be part of a football team 5 weeks from the end of the season who are just going to tank for draft picks. Yeah.
Boy, I bet a lot of it is like looking forward to trying new restaurants on the road. Ooh, let's try. We're in Phoenix. Let's get some Indian food.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
You're losing by 57 points.
Episode number 21 is Bully. Spelled like Wally, but it's an episode about bullying. We right away, I was thrown off because right away Willie is leaving the school and moving back to Scotland, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Are we gonna have a Willie episode? His replacement is Johnny Mathis, and I don't know who that is.
Old crooner.
Okay. I gathered he must have been some kind of singer because that's what he's doing in this scene. Voices himself.
Yeah, so because he like clipping the hedges, singing the song.
Yeah, and then he sticks a flamethrower down a gopher hole and blows out all the gophers out of the lawn.
I got a chuckle out of that. Yeah.
Skinner loving this, but he gets woken up, and it is just a dream.
What a dream!
Yeah. And he's like happy, like he's smiling in his sleep, like, oh, Willie's leaving, and Johnny Mathis is going to be the new groundskeeper. Turns out it's all just a dream. Now we're at school, and the school dance is coming up for Bart's class. Seems early for a school dance.
That's my first note. Isn't 4th grade pretty early for a dance?
10 years old, a little early? Yeah.
I'd say we were 7th grade is when it kicked off.
Yeah, I feel like probably 8th grade is when dances started happening, I think.
And they're never more important than the junior high, like dances lose importance the older you get. Like by the time you're a senior, like fuck, no one's going to dances unless prom, like,
which was pretty much the only dance we ever had in high school was the prom. So that's the one.
Shit.
Yeah.
Had to have a homecoming dance.
No,
really?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And busy putting out sagebrush fires or whatever. Like, it's the fall. In the spring, we can have a dance. Everything's kind of damp. It's far too dry in October.
No, in spring, everybody's calving. Ain't nobody going to go to a dance during calving season. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just the prom. I don't think we had a homecoming dance.
We had homecoming and something called Snowfest in the winter.
I think we had a winter one in the junior high years. I think it was Snowball was the name of it.
We were cranking out. We have far more dances in junior high. Junior high dances was like fucking WCW pay-per-views. It's just like every month.
A month.
Yeah. These don't all need themes.
Really blowing through this decoration budget this year, you guys.
I think Mrs. Johnson's in bed with big crepe paper. I think she's getting a cut back here.
We've been having a lot of dances since she started dating that guy at Party City.
Always in the van, smooching with him. It was at a junior high dance. It was the first time I ever saw somebody light a fart. Had no idea that was a real thing. Till I saw it, I was mystified. Like science in action.
A new day. That's a bookmark in Nathan's life for sure.
You fucking know they can do this shit.
That's one of those you think about your life before lit fart and post lit fart. Bart's kind of dismayed and nervous about this school dance coming up. He even mentions at the dinner table, like, it's the only time where standing around with your buddies makes you a loser. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what that is. Meanwhile, Homer goes outside and Ned and his boys are just wrapping up painting their fence on their side. And Homer just grabs the top of the fence and spins it to his side. Not how fences work, but it makes for a fun cartoon gag.
Yeah.
That it just spins like a foosball player. And he's just like, well, let's, because the kids kind of put up a fight, and Homer's like, well, let's leave it up to God then. And he just spins it, and it lands with the painted side towards him, and he's just like, ha, fuck you, and leaves. And the kids are not happy with how that went. They're like, Uncle Homer is mean to you.
Yeah. I thought it was about time we had an episode like this. It's like, other people have to notice how big of a piece of shit he is to Ned.
Yeah, they gotta. And the boys certainly do. And Ned's like, well, I just turned the other cheek like Jesus. And we get this insane thought bubble of Jesus getting bullied by the three delinquents, like Bart's bullies. And they like knock the books out of his hands and throw his halo up on a roof. And he turns and is like, Father, forgive them. And you see God's feet and him talking. He's like, oh, I raised such a wuss.
Yeah.
That's fun. Bart is at this dance, and he meets a 5th grader who wants to dance with him, and he's all gulp, real excited and nervous about it. And then the puberty demon pops up and is like, if you go dance with her, this is the start of it. Weird hairs and voice and acne cream. And I didn't bother looking up. I should have. Was Big Mouth on Netflix by now?
I don't think it was, and they better have written The Simpsons a check.
Yeah, because I was like, this is exactly Big Mouth.
Exactly. Even like the fact that it's like a horned, like, demon beast, it even looks like it. Like,
yeah, it looks to the point where I was like, oh, I didn't realize Big Mouth was on the air this soon, but I'm not sure that they were. So,
I don't know. Yeah, I would have to lean that they came after this.
Yeah, like if this came first, Nick Kroll needs to write Matt Groening a check for sure.
Yeah.
So Bart goes out on the dance floor and dances with this gal to the tune of Get Lucky by Daft Punk, which tells you that this came out in 2015 because that song was fucking inescapable.
Yeah.
That Daft Punk record is good, but boy, did it get hammered into the fucking dirt.
Probably easily their biggest radio hit has to be.
Oh, it's gotta be. Like, I wasn't around, in the early days for the super early hits, but Get Lucky was like the biggest song of the year that year.
Yeah, that song was everywhere.
I certainly played it in the strip club a whole bunch.
I bet.
There's another good song on that record called Lose Yourself to Dance that didn't get nearly enough credit that year when that came out. I was like, you guys like that one, but the best one on the record is this one. What are you doing?
That's just a little treat for you when you get home.
Yeah, that's the extent
dancing around your apartment.
Daft Punk hot takes, just in a bathrobe with one of them robot helmets on.
Yeah. It's always falling off and you're landing on your foot.
Oh, Jesus, it's heavy.
Maybe some wing nut I'm not tightening enough or something.
So Bart wins a bowling trophy for best dancer. I like that it's clearly a bowling trophy that they have put good. Best dancer over the top of. And he's walking out feeling good about himself, and he's jumped by the 3 delinquents, and one of them says, look, it's someone who does stuff, the bully's natural enemy. Which is all bully's word. Like, oh, you like this thing? Well, we're going to break it or steal it or make fun of you for it.
How dare you try to do something?
Yeah, how dare you enjoy a thing, you dick. So they break the trophy, and Bart's like, he's all distraught about it, and he shows it to the girl like, they broke it, but I won this for you. And she's like, oh, Bart, this isn't your fault, and this is the end of us. She's so just blunt about it.
Yeah. That's a very, very harsh lesson Bart's learning at a young age.
And so Bart goes home. He's all bummed out about this, and Marge is like, bullying is horrible, and we got to put a stop to the bullying. So she takes her anti-bullying proposal to town hall, where it's passed. They have to Mayor Quimby bullies Hans Moleman into passing it. He's just like, you passed this anti-bullying campaign, or we're gonna slug you. Which is fun. That's a fun joke. And now we get the cops arresting bullies all throughout town. They hastily wrote up this law, and the cops have too much power. They are arresting people all over town.
And what's been a theme for season 26, we get a lot of really bad police work by Chief Wiggum.
Yep. Wiggum has not shown in this season. We round up the delinquents and Krusty and Apu and Bumblebee Guy. Like, there's half the town. We see the jail cell is overflowing with people, and fucking Lou the cop is one of them.
Yep, yeah.
and he's like, come on, Chief, you got to let me out of here. All I did was put my name on a sandwich, and I only did that because otherwise you eat it. And Quincy's just like, you're a bully.
Yeah.
I love that was his
Quincy's a piece of
crime.
shit. Yeah.
He put his name on his own food so that no one else would eat it. And like Homer's driving around being like, oh, that guy cut me off. And then he calls in and reports this guy for being a bully. Like Homer's abusing this big time.
Peak shithead Homer in this one.
Yeah. Rod and Todd are watching this this news report about all the bullying arrests, and they're worried about Ned and being like, doesn't Uncle Homer bully you? And Ned, kind of scoffs at it or whatever. And then the boys call the police and report Homer for being a bully after they see him dumping his old mattress over the fence into their yard.
And then dumping Abe onto that old mattress.
Yeah, what an insane thing to just throw an old mattress in your neighbor's yard. So they call the police and report Homer for being a bully. They come charging into the Simpson house. They show the lights and sirens pulling up, and then a real hard knock at the door, and Homer excitedly is like, ooh, who could this be? That's funny. And they slam Homer against the wall and start cuffing him. They're like, you're under arrest for bullying. And Homer says, oh, I never knew that a law I abused could be applied to me. Homer.
We get peak shithead Homer and peak dipshit Homer.
Yeah. And he is sentenced to the Biff Stifler Rehab Center, where we are rehabilitating bullies. The therapist here, Dr. Roofbold, I think is his name, is played by Albert Brooks.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Yeah. The only other, I guess outside of Johnny Mathis, he's the only celebrity voice actor in this one. Oh, I meant to mention in the last one, I don't know her name and I don't know how to pronounce her first name, but the lady who played Annika Van Houten, her last name is Van Houten, and I thought that was funny. And she's Dutch. She's a Dutch singer and actress. So I was like, cool. That's fun. So this is some manner of group therapy. They're all sitting around in chairs, and the guy running it is really all over the place. He's an asshole, but he's an anti-bullying rehabilitationist. I can't quite get a read on him. Fucking Superintendent Chalmers tells this insane story about how his dad used to make him run a maze to find his own breakfast. And he's like, but which direction is love, Dad? Which direction is love? Chalmers is crying and shit.
Which way is love, Daddy? Which way is love?
God. Holy
God,
shit.
yeah. I laughed heartily at that.
Yeah, and he tries to, Mrs. Skinner, old Mrs. Skinner is there, and she's like, you're never gonna crack me. And he just pats her on the back and is just like, it's okay, my mom told me she loved me. And she just starts scream crying.
Yeah. He's very good at his job.
Yeah. So we're trying in this group therapy to get to the bottom of why Homer hates Ned, and Homer breaks down and finally realizes it for himself. It's that Ned is better than him in every way.
Yeah.
He finally says it out loud and accepts it. And so Homer graduates from this bully rehab thing, and he's now a hero? He's wearing a hero sash in a parade, and someone returning from the war in the Middle East calls him a hero and pats him on the back. And Ned is seeing all of this and is not cool with any of it. He's like, he's not a hero. He's just a piece of shit. And Homer's doing an autograph signing. Crazy already.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah.
Just because he passed this court-ordered rehab. Ned rolls up on him and lets him know that, listen, you're not a hero. You didn't even say you're sorry to me. And Homer tries a half-ass one, but Ned is like, nope, and walks away. And now Homer is distraught at getting Ned's forgiveness and giving him a genuine apology. And then in a race for the finish line of an ending, he just crawls on his knees over to Ned as Ned is watering his lawn and begs his forgiveness, and then just sits there on his knees out in the lawn, and we get like a long passage of time, like a few days, and then we cut to inside the house, and the kids are like, he's probably suffered enough, and then Ned forgives him, and I guess that's the end of the episode.
This was totally one where I was like, wait a second, did I jump past something? That can't be the end. And
I did the exact same thing. When they started playing the credits, I was like, hold on, really?
Yep.
What?
I did like that he was starting to sink into the yard. Like,
into the soft lawn. Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, as a whole, I like this episode, but that ending was a real fucking bored across the face. Just like, oh, I guess we're done. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm probably with you there. Like, I put it less than the last one, than the Milhouse birthday one, because I don't think the laughs were quite as good as that last one. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But just as a whole, like, and I realize I mentioned this a handful of times last week and probably a handful of times the week before, they're getting pretty sloppy with these endings. Like, they're just wrapping it up however they can these days, it seems. But
they got to save room for those exciting little mini cartoons at the end.
Yeah, I think we get like one good one this whole batch this week.
Yeah, I think I'm probably picturing the same one. Well, let's see how they do with the final episode of season 26, episode 22, Mathlete's Feet. I get what they're going for there.
It's like athlete's foot.
That's fun.
Come on.
We get a super involved Rick and Morty couch gag. That was kind of fun. We do. Yeah, that was fun.
I had seen this before because, like, I love Rick and Morty, so I saw when it had came out, people putting the video on the internet, like, they did a Rick and Morty Simpson episode or intro. So, like, I had seen it before and was wondering when it was coming this whole time, and it was fun to see it. I like that one.
Yeah, that was a very enjoyable and brand new couch gag.
And long. It is an involved one.
Oh, absolutely. That's at least 2 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, easily.
Episode begins with Lisa and the rest of the nerds going to some kind of like math Olympiad, I guess, would be what it would be considered. Like, this is not, your school could not have had this, right?
I think we had a math thing, or at least maybe not just math, but all the academics, some manner of academic competition, like the last 2 years of high school.
Okay. You know, now that I think about it, we might have had something like this. They just never asked me. There's a lot of that stuff going on that existed I was just never privy to because they knew better. Like,
I feel like I can remember them cramming 6 of us into the school like driving instructor's station wagon and going and trying to do math against other kids in Dickinson and coming back defeated.
Oh man, going up against those Dickinson kids. Well, we got all that Burger King or whatever fast food Dickinson had because it's a booming metropolis.
They probably had a Burger King by then.
Yeah. So they're all in this big auditorium. We get a Chalmskin produced short video, which is always nice to see. I love it anytime we get that, like the soft voice of Chalmskin.
Yeah.
We also get an appearance by your bro, Michael Bay.
Fuck yeah. Sadly, not playing himself. I would have loved for them to have gotten Michael Bay.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah.
Springfield's team, which is Lisa, Database, Martin, I don't know who I'm forgetting, but one other nerd.
I think a couple of others who we didn't know. I think
maybe
because I remember thinking the same thing of like, I don't think I know these other 2 kids.
Yeah, that sounds right. There might be 1 or 2 just nameless, faceless ones. And they are going up against the heavily favored Waverly Hills School, which we find out, you can notice right away, they're very rich and pampered and privileged. And they get shellacked by the Waverly Hills gang. And then also there's 3 judges who are like 3 geeky 30-somethings who are like multi-millionaires because of something they invented.
Yeah.
And they see Lisa crying. Lisa's all bummed out because she knows that they can't compete with Waverly because Waverly has all these resources that the Springfield kids don't have. And she pulls on those guys' heartstrings. Turns out they're all Springfield Elementary alum, and they decide to cut a check and make Springfield Elementary the most technologically equipped grade school on earth.
Yeah.
Like we get that's for the next few minutes. That's basically what it is. Just them using electronic stuff and making a gag out of it. Like Bart notices that the board, when he has to write something 100 times on the board, it just loads automatically.
Yeah, it's like a touch screen now, except it's the size of the chalkboard. When I graduated high school in 2003, there was one room in the high school that had whiteboard instead of chalkboard.
That's awesome.
And that was considered pretty fancy.
Yeah. I think, we might have been completely done with marker board or with chalkboards. I remember them at like grade school age, but I think they were all but gone by the time I was in high school.
Yeah, I have a friend now who's a teacher, and it's like, everything is a touch screen. Everything.
That's so wild.
Every kid has an iPad and a laptop, and every board is a touch screen. I don't think anyone could run one of those old dinosaur projector machines if they had to.
God, yeah. But they're still there. They're still taking up space somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Still in a closet somewhere.
I hope they still got those AV carts with the big tube TV sitting on them.
Ratchet strapped to the top. Most top-heavy, horrible things.
Yeah. God, I always love seeing that get wheeled into the classroom.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to watch this video, but I'd way rather do this than literally anything else in this class.
Yeah, you come to class, see that at the front of the room, you're like, oh, fuck yeah, buddy. Let's kick these shoes off and relax.
Put your sleeping hat on.
Gonna watch Last of the Mohicans in history class, which feels like a stretch, but okay.
I also like during this part of the episode that we find out that Willie is now like subservient to the Roomba that they purchased.
Yep, the Roomba is his supervisor.
Yeah, that was so good.
And I love the digital book burner.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. It's like just shredding them. Like, oh, don't just throw them out. Why not take advantage of this? Because I think Willie just wants to toss them out.
Yeah.
So the school is a technological paradise until the kids figure out a way to get outside content. So they're all looking at things on their screens that they shouldn't be. And it's just too much, sucking too much juice or something. And then there's a huge blowout to the point everything electronic shuts down in the school.
Yeah. Blows the school back to the Stone Age.
Yeah. And so the school is now in shambles. We get a good clip of Lisa's teacher, who I'm assuming we'll see more of since she's the only main teacher remaining.
Yeah, you would assume.
And it's around this time where like the seed is planted to the seed's planted by watching Willie. Willie is using some kind of old-timey measurement stick and rope thing to figure out how to lay the sod in. She goes outside and talks to him, and he explains how it works. And the seed is planted, and Lisa now wants Springfield Elementary to be a Waldorf school.
Which I have to take on faith as a real thing.
Yep, I was just gonna say I've heard of weird schools where they do things different, but I have no frame of reference for what a goddamn fucking Waldorf school is. No,
not a clue. Like I said, I'm gonna just assume that it's a real thing. They explain it as like, oh, we do just like hands-on learning and creativity related learning. Yeah.
I do love how everyone has to wear a hat.
That's fun. That's a fun added detail.
And the kids are kind of into it. They kind of like it. So it's kind of a hit. And then for some insane fucking Waldorf school logic, Willie is in charge of like the math department. And then why is Bart throwing it? Oh, he throws an egg at Chalmers.
Yeah.
And does he loft it into his sunroof? Is that how he hits him?
Yeah, and Willie's like, who threw that at such a perfect angle?
Yeah. Like with a perfect 45-degree angle like that, like he makes Bart the captain of the like quiz bowl team, which, as you can imagine, Lisa's not taking that news very well because Bart's
not
a
into
fucking
that.
idiot. So we can kind of see where this is going. Like they got this new style of learning. They're going to go back up and face off the Waverly kids one more time. The team is having we get it's just like it was before. Them on one side, Waverly with everything real fancy on the other. Now they got their goddamn hats. That's the one thing that's different with the Springfield kids. And if you noticed, we get a Kate Bush song during the montage of the Quiz Bowl.
Yeah, we get Pie by Kate Bush.
Which is a total Simpsons did it, being fucking 5 years ahead of the Kate Bush renaissance.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it. I love Running Up That Hill. I've never seen Stranger Things, and I never will. But that Kate Bush song is a fucking good song. Yeah. But I have always preferred the Placebo cover of it. Placebo's cover of that song is so fucking good.
Oh, really? I'm a Placebo guy, so I might agree with you, but I'd have to hear it.
It sounds, brace yourself, like a Placebo song.
Yeah. With a real nasally, androgynous vocals.
Yep, real breathy.
Could be a lady, could be a fella.
We don't know.
And I'm trying to think, what would her biggest hit have been? I don't even know if she really crossed over into the States in the 80s.
I don't think so. I think Running Up That Hill is probably her biggest hit, and it wasn't a very big one.
Yeah, I think she had hits overseas because she is British, I believe. But yeah, I think she was also kind of like a music critic darling. So people that were hip were listening to Kate Bush in the 80s.
Sure. People who were real deep into that new wave shit. People who could name one other artist other than the Eurythmics were I know who Kate Bush is.
Yeah. So the match between the Springfield and Waverly is neck and neck. Bart is just dicking the dog the whole way because he's dumb. And they managed to tie it. And the tiebreaker question is they show basically the letter M, and it's by laying 3 straight lines that don't overlap, create 9 triangles.
Yeah.
And Bart's sitting there, hasn't done a thing the whole time except get questions wrong, looks at the symbol, looks at the side of Homer's head where there's that M-shaped hair, and that sparks and Bart's like, well, you do it like this. And he puts the 3 lines, and God damn it, if Springfield doesn't win the fucking contest.
Yeah.
Thanks to Bart's Homer geometry.
Thanks to being able to have stared at the side of Homer's head his whole life.
Yeah, and just like as a theme lately, wraps up quick.
Mm-hmm.
So the Springfield kids are victorious, all is well in the world. And then we get a fucking short, because of course we do, of the Simpson family as a jug band. Why? Why not funny?
It's a fine question, Nathan.
Yeah. Insanity. Do they say no to anything? I was so is this referencing something that I missed? Nope. Just a thing. Just a thing for the last hour or the last minute of the episode. Oh my God.
I guess. Should have brought Rick and Morty back.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Why not do that?
I think what we're getting at is you could just watch Rick and Morty if you wanted to.
Jesus, yeah. Why you already got him there. Why not do something extra for the end? Jesus. But
there's a couple other good gags in this thing. I like that as soon as all the electricity goes out, Ms. Hoover is immediately revealed to be an absolute fucking dolt who can't teach anything.
Yeah. She's just repeating words.
Yep, doesn't know shit, clearly. No. We get a look at the typing teacher who's replaced all of their keyboards with marshmallows with the letters drawn on them so they can still teach typing. And Nelson's just eating his marshmallows.
I'd completely forgotten about that. That is pretty good. That's his dinner. He's convincing himself it's normal food.
Yeah, he's like, I'm eating steak, and you look down, and it's the word steak in marshmallows.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it needs a little sauce, and he puts 5 and 7 on top of the steak and then eats it.
That was good.
Clearly just using his imagination to break free of the horrible life he lives.
The nightmare life at home.
And then once we've accepted that we're going to do this Waldorf school thing and it's hands-on learning, Miss Hoover's standing at the front of her class and just like, I guess you kids can ask any questions you want. And Lisa rattles off a few. And then way in the back, Ralphie Wiggum goes, if mommy's purse didn't belong in the microwave, why did it fit?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Never change, Ralphie.
Right?
Never change.
Yeah. We haven't had enough of him. We need more Ralphie.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, we've had plenty of Ralph Wiggum, but Ralphie, we haven't had enough.
Quincy.
Pardon me, Quincy.
Yeah, plenty of his old man and not enough Ralphie.
Well, we just wrapped up season 26. You know what that means, Marlon?
What's that, Nathan?
That means we got a fucking fresh, hot, spanking new episode or season waiting for us. With all sorts of fun things. We're in season 27, baby.
Woo!
Let's take a look. You know, me, I always dig into the archives, which is now 7 years. It's not like I got to dig too deep.
Take us back to the far-flung year of late 2015.
Yeah, the fall of 2015. Can you imagine how much different we were back then?
Yeah.
Looking at the Sundays, Simpsons are still, we're on almost 25 years of Sundays now. The usual suspects are the same. We still got Bob's Burgers. We got Family Guy. Last Man on Earth still has another season or so. Brooklyn Nine-Nine still has another season or so. But we got a new animated show called Border Town, which I just vaguely remember seeing ads for during football.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Kind of wish I would have gave it a shot because apparently it was made by the guys that made the show 3 South on MTV. Do you remember that at all?
No, not at all.
It's probably like 2002-ish, 2001, 2002. Just a very short one, but I loved it. It was like based in it was like 3 different freshmen that all become friends in the dorms. And I thought it was a really good show. But
Animated?
Apparently, yep, totally. And this looking at this Border Town show, totally like the same illustrator, obviously.
Oh, okay.
And a hot take for a goofy reality or a goofy animated cartoon. It's based in a border town, so it's one guy is a immigrant Mexican man with his family who's real happy to be in America, go USA, and then his neighbor is a border patrol agent.
Oh,
that is the premise of this goofy cartoon.
And hijinks are gonna get up, guys.
So yeah, that's give them credit for going for it, I guess. But yeah, I think it made 1 season, so this was not around for very long. Nor was the show Cooper Barrett's Guide to Surviving Life. You see, made up.
That's not real.
Yeah, it was one of those ones I click. Barely anyone on this cast is remotely recognizable. I didn't even know who the star was. It's like, what is going on right now? Am I getting fucking gaslit by Wikipedia? Like the old days when just anyone could update it. So yeah, that was a thing. You could imagine how long that show lasted.
Is it 1 season?
Yeah. For other news shows around the world, ABC, if you remember, this was when they pushed the shit out of this. This is when they debuted that show called Blood and Oil. The North Dakota-based sexy oil drama.
Shit. Yep.
I think featuring Don Johnson.
I believe so. I sure didn't watch it, but I saw promos for it.
Yep. They really were hoping that was going to take off, and it didn't. Just like the oil boom, it ended quick.
Yeah.
The oil boom was done by the time this show got released.
Yeah, the oil boom in North Dakota was pretty fast.
A couple other things that ABC did. I forgot they brought the Muppets back.
Oh.
And they pushed the shit.
Like the late night show, like the Muppet Show, or
well, I think it was like a 9, not like after the news late night show, but it was like a 9 p.m. really going for the style of the original Muppets. Like,
okay,
and clearly went nowhere.
I have like little to no connection to the Muppets. Like the closest I get is like Sesame Street.
Yep, and for me, Muppet Babies, the cartoon.
Oh,
but
yep.
The actual Muppets with the puppets. That show, I think I only remember it through some reruns. Those movies, Muppets Take Manhattan, I maybe saw them, but they didn't do a whole lot for me. Like,
yeah, I don't think I ever saw those either.
Another thing that ABC was all about bringing shit back this year, they fucking had a Uncle Buck sitcom from like the 1988.
The John from the John Candy movie.
Yeah, I don't know if you know about John Candy. No longer with us.
Not around in 2015.
He was 21 years dead at that point.
So who'd they get to play Uncle Buck? Anybody you recognize?
John Candy hologram. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, holy shit. I was like, fuck you.
They didn't get his family's rights. It was a huge legal battle. No,
almost ended ABC.
Yeah. I don't even remember. Like, I think I took a look at the cast and nothing struck me as interesting. So I don't know who played the titular Uncle Buck, but
Uncle Buck is the one. I think that's the one John Candy movie that everyone loves that I've never seen.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's good.
Like, to me, John Candy is from The Great Outdoors.
Also very good.
But like Harry Crumb, Uncle Buck, even fucking Home Alone. Like, I think Uncle Buck is the only one I haven't seen.
Uncle Buck, speaking of Home Alone, features a pre-Home Alone Kevin McAllister. Well, that's the Home Alone
Macaulay
character,
Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. There we go.
Like I've seen the scene where he flips a pancake with a snow shovel, and I think that's the only. I think that's the extent of my Uncle Buck knowledge.
Really, no big bangers came out this year. A few big bangers left the air. This would have been the first time in a long time we didn't have Parks and Rec or Glee. Sure. Glee was on for quite a while. One of those shows people talked about, but did anyone watch?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. And for the
certainly didn't.
Yeah, I don't think we're their target audience.
You don't think so? You don't think we're the target audience for a Jane Lynch-led High School Musical show?
Yeah, I don't think so. I wish we were, but we're not. And for the first time since the fall of 2003, 2.5 Men isn't on the air.
Oh, wow.
How did that fucking nightmare show last that fucking long?
I feel like I've seen less than 5 episodes of that show.
You've seen all you need to see. You've seen it all.
I've seen every episode.
It's a fucking... Every episode is the same Mad Libs template. Just... Oh, I say something snarky. I say something... I'm a pussy. Then the kid comes in and says something snarky. Like, it's just so fucking bad. But, I mean, keep cashing them checks, Charlie Sheen.
May as well.
2015, 2016, where's Marlon at in life?
2015, 2016. I think by this point, by the time the Simpsons premiered this season, I would have left the strip club. I was no longer a strip club DJ. I left it so that I could go to more open mics and do more comedy. So I needed a day job instead of a night job.
Put down the tassels, picked up the microphone.
Yep, and had a hell of a time adjusting because, like, what bullshit job did I get? Oh, just like answering the phones, doing customer service at a place that made signs. And it paid about a third of what I had been making at the strip club. So there was some tough adjustment periods there for a while.
As the kids say, big oofs.
Frantically Googling, how do I get out of a car lease? Oh, God.
Why did I get this Aston Martin?
But yeah, ducked into that line of work for a while, and spoiler alert, was gone by April 2016, off to do something else. So, but yeah, by this time, like by the time of this first episode, that's where I was at. I was really walking away from a lot of money to chase this comedy thing.
And how it's paid off tenfold since.
Absolutely. 116 episodes into a podcast we do for free.
Yeah, it's paying off a big time. The residuals, once this catches on, though, that's where the money's
Oh, man, we're going to make money in podcast syndication, which is not a thing.
They're going to air this during Atlanta Braves rain delays.
I'd accept that. I would call that a
win.
Would
I ever, yeah. This is around the time I began comedy, too, like the winter of 2015, 2016.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's when I'd have started seeing your mug around.
Right around, either right before or right after Christmas is when I started coming out.
This is like our anniversary season of The Simpsons.
Right?
Like you and I knew who each other were for the first time at this time.
That makes it seem alarming that now we're like, oh boy, we're getting into the end years of The Simpsons, because like in the early days, it's like, did I know how to write cursive yet when this episode debuted? You know, like, could I do multiplication and division?
You still can't write in cursive or do multiplication.
I can write in cursive. I choose not to. I think that's a courageous choice. I can multiply,
choose
divide.
Inefficiency.
Yep. Marlon, America has voted with me. We're no longer teaching children this archaic way of writing. You can live in the past, or you can join us in the future.
Just another failure of the public school system.
I, for one, support our teachers. Moving on.
Oh, okay. That's the route we're going to take.
First, it's the troops, and now it's the teachers. Who are you going to attack next?
Mm-hmm. God damn it.
Do all the takes have to be hot, Marlon? Can you leave your spicy AM radio persona behind for once? They're just trying to get by. They want to help the kids.
Jesus Christ.
We have fun.
I'm not going to look back and say they came for cursive and I said nothing. I am here saying, no, you can't take it.
I think you missed it. You woke up late. I think it's gone. I think it's been gone longer than even I think.
I think you're right, actually.
I bet if you're 25, you probably, depending where you went to school, you don't know how to write cursive.
Oh, God. I can't imagine not being able to write cursive.
I can't imagine how much more I would have enjoyed grade school without that fucking nightmare.
Yeah, because they for sure would have used that time wisely and taught you something else worthwhile.
Just with the book, with the lines, with the dotted line in the middle, just repetitive, over and over. Fuck, we filled so many of those books. I hated it so much. Like, just so fucking bored. Like,
I got some of those books laying around here. I just do them for fun on weekends.
Like the rush of doing a capital Z.
It's like a weird 3. Look at it.
Is it a weird 3 or a weird 2, kind of?
That's
the
Q.
Yeah.
Q is a weird 2.
Oh, Q is almost just a fucking A. Cursive's dumb. The R is nothing. Like, they sap all the charisma out of an R. Oh man, we can't make this we can't make this. Would it be a penmanship podcast? What would it be?
I'm prepared. Yeah. I'm prepared to make this a penmanship podcast. I'll torpedo this whole fucking show.
The pen pods. What a premise. One guy who's into it and one guy who's dead set against it.
What's funny is I know that you don't know this, but there is a whole wing of Instagram that is devoted to like watching people write cursive in like with fancy pens.
Oh, like with like the ones you dip in ink and shit.
Yeah, or just like a fountain pen with a cartridge. But yeah, same thing, sure.
Yeah. I can see how that'd be soothing.
Yeah, damn
Like
right you could.
Kind of like an ASMR type thing.
Mm-hmm. Just like, oh, look at the ink flow on this cursive.
Yeah. You know what that is? You know what that's for? Consenting adults at home in the dark. It's not for teaching kids. If you want to dabble in cursive as a grown adult, hey, we're not going to tell you no. But
Nathan is all for keeping important things out of schools. Cursive, slavery history, the whole thing. Nathan's against it all.
you know, you got to make a stand, as I've always said.
You got to stand for something.
It's a slippery slope.
Or you'll fall for anything.
Coming on here singing Aaron Tippin without letting me know. We got to harmonize, baby.
Oh, God. That you knew who sang that off the top of your head is really something.
Well, you know, I feel like I have failed this podcast by not being able to rattle off 2 or 3 titles of his other hits. I don't know why I can't think of Aaron Tippin's other. He had fucking 6 or 7.
Yeah,
Here I am.
A name.
Yeah.
Him and his mustache.
And muscles. He was a muscle guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of tank tops.
Same.
I mean,
same here.
He was working the glamour muscles. I'm sure. I don't think he had a thick core.
This was pre-CrossFit that Aaron Tippin was out here.
He was just doing curls before county fair gigs.
Slaying at county fairs, no doubt.
Yeah, just curls and shoulder shrugs, just building them up. They look good.
What else is going on in your life at this time? Is it just starting comedy? Is that the biggest bullet point?
He's still at the same company I've been for years, but now I'm no longer working in the call center doing that thankless task. I'm now writing for the website.
Oh, okay.
Putting all that education to good use.
Yep. I did that at a later job as well, just writing marketing materials.
And you know how lucrative it is.
I sure do.
Yeah.
Well, let's kick off a new season of The Simpsons, Nathan, with episode 1, Every Man's Dream. We get Homer, who is constantly sleeping and ends up going to the hospital after the nuclear power plant fucking melts down. Yeah. And Homer has narcolepsy. He's officially diagnosed with narcolepsy, which is a bonkers disease. That's one of those things that's like, there's no way that could be real, right? But
that was my question. Have you ever met anyone?
I don't think so. We used to joke that our high school math teacher had it, but I think she was just always tired because she was like 85.
Oh, yeah, that'll...
I think that's why she was always asleep in class.
Old people are like babies. They just revert back to sleeping all the time and eating their diapers changed.
Yeah, she taught math, she slept all the time, and just smoked more cigarettes than anyone I've known in my whole life.
Holy fuck. Right before class starts, a teacher's aide comes in, lays that woman on her back, fucking just, and right in front of all you guys, changes her diaper. And just pats her on the bottom, and she goes and sits down and begins talking about fucking equilateral whatever.
All right, kids, we're doing Pythagorean theorem today.
You can still smell the diaper because she just threw it in the little garbage basket.
Still a poof of baby powder floating in front of the chalkboard.
Settling on your desk. They gotta hire younger teachers.
I assume that you also don't know anyone with narcolepsy.
No. Okay. I thought, God, maybe I do, but boy, I couldn't scrape that memory up of anyone that actually had it.
No, there's narcolepsy, one of only a handful of, at least from the outside and at first glance before you get all serious and dig into it, one of precious few funny diseases.
Yeah.
Narcolepsy, Tourette's, just at very first glance, pretty funny.
I bet
medical
narcolepsy
anomalies
is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just mowing the lawn. All of a sudden you wake up face first in the grass with the mower just running in front of you. Like, Jesus.
And it's dark out now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
How long have I been here?
You know, if you have narcolepsy, you become a watch person. You don't have a choice. You become a wristwatch wearer.
Yeah.
So Homer, Hibbert writes Homer a medical, excuse, writes him a doctor's note that says he has narcolepsy, and Homer immediately starts abusing it because of fucking course he does. Every time kids want to play, nope, narcolepsy, got to do a chore, nope, narcolepsy, to the point where Marge can't fucking take this anymore.
Yeah.
That woman has been through it. And she insists they go to marriage counseling. They go to what seems to be the last marriage counselor they haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Which that means they've seen a bunch, and I applaud them for seeking professional help, because that's not an attitude that would have been embraced when we were children.
Yeah. But also, a lot of these times Homer's not putting much effort in.
Not at all. Such as
thinks...
in this case, where he's eating pizza and then falls asleep.
Yeah.
The therapist, by the way, played by right-wing lunatic Laura Ingraham.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. She recommends that they separate and then get divorced. That's her recommendation.
But there's no fixing this.
Yeah, there's no fixing it. Been a while since we have had a Marriage on the Rocks episode.
These used to be commonplace.
There were times in the early seasons where we would have 2 back-to-back of The Simpsons nearly getting divorced.
That's like season 1 shit.
Yeah, season 1 and 2 were really full of that stuff. Remember Jacques the bowling perv?
Yeah.
Good times. Because here's the other thing. Those episodes used to be good or funny. And this one isn't either of those things. So Homer leaves, and the kids are all crying and shit, and Homer is living at the plant. We get a sad montage of him in the power plant by himself, and at one point he's in the cafeteria, and next to him is a plaque of Mr. Burns that says owner of the month. And then it pans back to show a whole wall full of plaques of Mr. Burns, owner of the month, except, and I don't know if you did this, but if you pause it, there way up in the corner is the 2 German brothers he sold the power plant to.
Oh, yeah.
In
Jesus,
season
good catch.
3.
Yeah. Jesus, good pull.
I saw it, and I thought that I saw that one of them wasn't Mr. Burns, so I rewound and paused. I was like, fuck, that's right. From 24 seasons ago.
That's early shit,
when Burns sold the power plant. We're back to doing mostly remote now, but that was before we were doing in-person ones. That's an old one.
That was in the middle of the quarantine.
Yeah, we were just young podcast boys.
Yeah.
The last time we saw them.
Bodies were fresh and undamaged. Now, much like your peaches, bruised.
Bruised and leaking.
Because you take them to bed with you.
I'm going to have you not judge what I'm doing with peaches in this apartment.
There is a mattress cover. I am very prepared.
Don't judge what I'm doing with Peaches is only an okay sentence if you realize that Peaches isn't a dog's name.
Yeah, holy shit. Or a real old prostitute. She's so old she may no longer be a consenting adult. I gotta do a cognitive test.
Can she identify a chair and a lion? Then okay.
There's a good gag earlier when Homer's leaving. How quickly Bart gets over it. He's just basically putting on an act for Homer. he all excitedly just runs over to the fence like, hey, Mr. Flanders, can I cry in your shoulder? It's like Ned was waiting for it. He's like, boys, go get my tear dicky. Which, what the fuck is a tear? And then the fact that the Rod and Todd, like they always do, yay!
They're so excited.
God damn, whatever a fucking tear dicky is. I'm like a doily. Like
I don't know what a dicky is, but yeah, he's like, this apparently happens with such regularity, or he is just so excited to be this guy that he has a special tool or garment on hand.
You can't be having children's tears mess with the integrity of your sweater. He's a big sweater man.
Yep, the man loves a sweater. So the Homer completely optimistic that he's going to be totally fine for some reason. Homer I guess the reason is, as he mentions, Marge always takes him back. Yep. So he's 100% confident that everything will work out. He goes to the pharmacist to pick up some narcolepsy medicine, and the pharmacist really throwing herself at Homer big time.
Yeah. Which is weird.
She is very direct, coming at Homer, seemingly because he has drugs.
Yep. Because she rattles off what he has, and she's like, lucky you get this and this and this.
Don't take these with alcohol, and then winks at him like that's a bad pharmacist.
She's a tech.
Yeah. Her name is Candace, and she is played by Lena Dunham, who I know is on Girls, which I've never seen.
Yep. Okay, that's what I know her from too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the extent of my familiarity with the name Lena Dunham. So she picks up Homer. They go out to a bar on a date. We get a extended like tripping on drugs and booze sequence, and then Homer fucking wakes up with the pharmacist after plugging the pharmacist.
And I did not see that coming. I was like,
what the fuck are we doing, The Simpsons?
That's always been the one line that never gets crossed.
Yep. And I was like, holy shit, 27 seasons. I guess we did it, huh?
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Oh, is this the first time we get tripping balls Homer?
No, like we got tripping balls Homer, like Space Coyote is a tripping balls Homer.
That's Homer. Good call. Yeah. I was thinking it's mostly Lisa and Marge that get to go,
I feel like everyone's had one by this point.
Yeah. We just got to get Maggie so we can complete the set.
Yeah. Space Coyote even shows up during this drug tripping sequence.
Again? Really?
Yeah, he imagines himself like as her tattoos, and at one point you see dish soap Homer, that like anime Homer, and Space Coyote, and then that fucking weird little thing they made as the Olympics mascot that's like Homer's mouth upside down and then with feet.
You're
right. Up on there.
I couldn't place what that was, but that's exactly what it was. It's the Olympic mascot.
It took me a while to think of it. I mostly just went, Space Coyote, hey.
Open hand claps.
Yeah, I like when Space Coyote shows up. And now Homer and Candace are just dating, I guess. They're just a couple. They're always hanging out like with her friends and stuff. And then they're going to go out on a date. At one point, he calls the house, and Patty or Selma answers and is like, Marge isn't here. She's getting ready for a date. And he's like, a date with who? And she goes, tell you what, I'll tell you if you can guess which one I am. And he guesses Patty, and she goes, nope, and hangs up. That's a fun gag.
Yeah.
So we end up going on a double date. It turns out Homer thinks that he's just going on a date with Candace to meet her dad, but it's a double date, and his date is Marge. Of course it is.
Yep. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are we doing in this episode? And then during the date, like the daughter and the dad are fighting, and then Marge and Homer are taking a couple pot shots at each other, and then her dad proposes to Marge and she accepts, and then Candace tells Homer that she's pregnant, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then he wakes up in the therapist's office.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is too much.
From where he had fallen asleep. And I was like, okay, Jesus. I'm glad we stopped the ride, because I was like starting to get really irritated. Like, what the fuck are these writers doing to this show? But then it just gets bad in a different way, because she's like, she recommends that Homer be like a good husband for a whole month, which he does. And then he wakes up in the pharmacist's dream, like, or no, he wakes up.
That was also a Homer dream, and he's at the bar.
Yeah, he wakes up from that, which was a dream. He's in a bar, still dating Candace the pharmacist, so that's actually real, apparently. And so he's all freaking out about, oh God, wait, this is reality? And he runs to his house where her dad has replaced him and the family is all happy. And we get like a nice moment of Lisa still at Homer's side, like, oh, it's okay, we're all gonna, I'll always be at your side, Dad. And then at some point, from inside you hear, I think Roger is the guy's name. You hear him from inside be like, Lisa, come in and go to bed. We got to go pony shopping tomorrow. And Lisa takes off, abandons Homer. And then Marge wakes up, because this is all in Marge's dream. I was like, well, I'm officially done with this episode. And then it somehow like goes a little further into, maybe it's someone else's dream. And then at the end of this all, it is just them as tattoos on Lena Dunham's character from Girls. And she wakes up with Adam Driver's character also from Girls.
Yeah.
Which I had to look up. I was like, what the fuck was this dumb ending? It's those two from Girls. Consider
how confused I was when I didn't realize Lena Dunham did that voice.
Neither did I. I learned all this after the fact. During this episode, I was like, what is going on?
Screaming at your TV.
Who are these people that we end the episode on?
Yeah, what a way to begin a season.
What a fucking dud-ass episode.
Ugh, yeah. My God.
No jokes, dumb story, you think like, holy shit, they're really going for it. Like, I don't like this, but Jesus, way to fucking swing for the fences, I guess. And then they, it's all a dream. And then it's all a second and third and maybe fourth dream. And then they're all in tattoos, actually, on a character from a different television show. Awful.
Yeah,
Not a fan.
I'm sure they advertised it as like Homer cheating on Marge leading into it, like in the season premiere of The Simpsons, to hope to, weasel some viewers away and make them watch a shit episode of the show. Like, good job, Simpsons, like staff. Like, oh my God,
not a fan at all. Like, like I said, we haven't done a fucking Marriage on the Rocks one in a while. So at first I was like, okay, we haven't done this in a bit. Let's do this. But, whoo boy.
Well, let's see if episode 2 could turn it around. Episode 2 is Q Detective. What am I missing? Oh, True Detective. Oh,
yeah. And it's apostrophe Q like barbecue.
Yeah.
It's Barbecue Detective.
That's fun. I'm
glad that you put it together just as you were saying it.
Yep.
I watched your face light up like, oh, wait.
Because I typed it in wrong. I have like Q, like C-U, capital C-U-E. So I was like, what is this getting at? But then, now it all makes sense with the episode. Episode begins with all the kids in the auditorium. Classic, like, beginning of an episode. Skinner on stage. Unruly children in the seats. And it begins with Skinner, who is excited to announce that they're going to get to watch a movie. They're going to watch Dr. Dolittle, which...
The old one from the 60s.
Which all of that 60s and 70s live action fucking Disney. Oftentimes it's a musical. Even as a little kid, I found all that shit unbearably corny. Like,
yeah, outside of the apple dumpling gang, I don't think I liked any of that shit.
yeah, none of that stuff did anything for me. And I think it's Milhouse that looks up. If that movie's actually 152 minutes long, that's insane.
That's 2.5 hours.
For a children's movie. And the kids are just distraught. And it's kind of neat because we get live footage of it. It's like the screen is actually the movie itself. And
yeah, they just show parts of the movie.
There's a scene where Dr. Doolittle's having like a sweet moment with a goddamn fucking seal that he might be attracted to. And fucking Jimbo stands up and goes, that dude's making it with a fish. Fucking making it is a good term.
Also, seal, not a fish.
Yeah. So that right there, funnier than anything that happened in the last episode.
Absolutely. I was so on board immediately, and I love how much Principal Skinner loves this.
Yeah,
he's in the back just like smiling,
yeah, just excited, yeah, like thinking he's really doing these kids a favor. And then it cuts to 152 minutes later. The kids look like they've been on a fucking 18-mile hike. They're just exhausted. They're just splayed out everywhere. They're kind of gathering themselves because the movie's mercifully over, and they get up. And is it Nelson that notices that Bart stinks?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, you stink." You're they start ragging on him, and then it's fucking Martin is like, "If I could join in on the bullying, I want to announce that Lisa Simpson has an appalling odor."
And I like that even Milhouse is like, "Oh yeah, Lisa, you stink real bad."
Stink. Yeah, and then chants of Stinkson fill the air, which, God damn it, you don't ever want to be the stinky kid in school.
Nope, horrible.
That is not a fucking yoke you want to carry. And we find
thankfully,
out
was never the stinky kid in school.
Yeah, I don't think I was either. I think I avoided that. And then at the same time, Homer is also becoming the stinky person at work.
They also are chanting Stinkson at him. These grown men.
Yeah, so that was good. So they come home. That truly is a family emergency. If everyone stinks, why do we stink?
Yeah.
And we find out the culprit is their old moldy ass washing machine. So Margie what had Margie been saving money for?
Oh shit, I forget what she was saving it for.
Yeah.
But now she's got to use it on a washing machine.
Yeah. And I did like the touch that the money she'd been squirreling away was saved inside of the torso of Bender.
Absolutely loved that touch. That she opens up Bender's chest and takes it out because he's still in the basement.
Yeah. So, and it's all the $1 bills that she'd pulled out of Homer's pants before washing them over the years. And she gives the money to Homer, and Homer is given the task of getting the family a new washing machine. And they're all wearing old clothes because all their good clothes are dirty. Homer has a Spin Doctors World Tour t-shirt on. It's a nice
Marge
touch.
is just wearing her wedding dress.
Yeah, that was
like they all
too.
have attic clothes.
Yeah. So Homer goes about it. He's heading to some kind of department store to buy a washing machine. But while he's on the way, he sees a roadside food stand, which those are tough to resist. Pulls in, talks to this kind of not quite a hippie, but just a living on the road, good dude, kind of half hippie, half biker, full of homespun wisdom about how important good food is. And he's like, "Man, this is the best ribs I've ever had." He's like, "Well, all thanks to this smoker." And he explains how the smoker came to Earth as a meteor and has this really rich history and gives it this unique honeycomb cooking because it's a smoker and a grill. So it kind of serves a lot of purposes.
Yeah, look, it looks like a big green egg. It's one of those.
Exactly. I couldn't think of the name. That's exactly what it is.
Except it's yellow and he calls it the Hive.
Yeah, and because it gives that honeycomb grill mark texture. And he explains that he wants to get out of the meat business, and he tells Homer, I'll sell it to you if you want. And Homer knows, I shouldn't do it. So what the fuck do we cut to next? Homer pulling into the driveway, opening the back of the wagon, and there's a fucking smoker back there.
Of course.
Is Marge happy, you ask? Marge is not fucking happy. Jesus, that's insane to do when your family stinks.
When
but
your
God
family needs a washing machine and you come home with a meat smoker.
Yeah. So she's furious. But I tell you what, Homer starts cooking them meats, and that anger is eroded when she finally takes a sample, and she is off to meat heaven. And just we get like this kind of like dream where she's like swimming in a pile of pork products, like real blissful.
I'm with her, and anything that comes off a smoker is going to give me that reaction.
Yeah, and the kids love it too. The kids are into it, and eventually the aroma starts kind of going through the neighborhood. All of a sudden, other people come visit, and Marge likes it because now their place is a place people go to have fun and do. Yeah, and Marge likes to host. So
I like that Carl's side dish is like, I brought some Carl slaw. I call it that because I bought it.
Yeah.
That's such a good joke.
Yeah. That I bought it too, not like painstakingly made.
And he's so proud of himself because I bought it.
So, there's a good chunk of at Springfield hanging out. The Simpsons, everyone's complimenting on how good the food is. And that's when a celebrity chef named Scotty Boom shows up and challenges Homer to a cook-off. That's apparently the show he has. He goes around America and unsuspectedly, accosts, mom and pop cooking setups and challenges them to a cook-off.
Just embarrasses amateur cooks.
Yeah. And they take the offer. They're living life high on the pork hog. Doesn't have to be pork hog. I could have said hog, literally.
I don't know. I kind of like pork hog.
Yeah. And then a wink that no one would see except you.
We might have found another stage name for you.
Yeah. Pork hog.
Please welcome to the stage, Pork Hog.
The wink of the pork hog. Things take a very, very dire turn when they wake up in the morning and the goddamn fucking hive is gone. Just see a spot in the grass where it once sat. So now Homer has just lost all hope. Because, that challenge of Scotty Boom is still coming up. He just lays everywhere.
Just a shell of a man.
Like lays in the yard. Because we get a good scene where it's Homer, or it's Bart and Lisa talking about it. And we see some guy that's doing yard work just use a leaf blower and blow Homer through the yard. It's like, I've never seen Dad this despondent. So now it's becoming a thing that I do sometimes enjoy is the detective episodes. It becomes a mystery.
Yeah.
So Bart and Lisa are kind of on the case. Through Lisa's detective work, they find out that Nelson stole it. I'm trying to think how they know that.
Well, they find the empty jar of peanut butter that was used to distract Santa's little helper, and it's a natural peanut butter, and Lisa's like, I know the only place that they sell this, and she goes to the hippie food store and is like, they're trying to get that information out of that clerk with the big gauged ears, who's played by Ben Schwartz, by the way. It plays the clerk. Jean Ralphio from Parks and Rec, and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he's the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog. And when they show that, Bart has just, handcuffed this guy by sticking his hands into his ear gauges.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's like, that's a crime. We're getting felonious here. But by God, they did what needs to be done. They get footage of Nelson buying that peanut butter. And what I thought was a fun scene was, I must be I don't know if it's during school or after school, but it's just Nelson sitting on a merry-go-round, feverishly playing some clickbait fucking Farmville type game. And Lisa and Bart both walk up with just being super, oh, that's a very nice setup you have there. It's very well defended. You have all this and this, and it's yeah, doing pretty good. It's like, oh, sure would take a lot of gems to have something like that. Where'd you get the money for all these gems? And That's when Nelson knows the heat's on and he panics and he takes off running. And they follow him into the dump ground or like whatever salvage yard type thing. And we see the egg. We see Nelson doing a trade-off of some shadowy figure. And the kid's like, oh shit, it's right there. Let's take it. They try to load it up. Or try to get out of there with it. They can't handle it. It just ends up rolling back and conveniently rolling up a ramp into the back of a pickup truck. And it just fucking peels off.
That's so good. Nice
cut. Cut to now them two are laying in the yard with Homer. The fucking,
also hopeless.
Yeah. The whole goddamn family's just a mess. And then Marge sees it, and Marge is, Lisa's got a lot of Marge where they ain't got a lot of lay down in them. They're going to fight. So Marge is going to compete on the show, grill or no grill. Marge brings her rental spice rack, which has come up a couple times, which is an amazing thing to rent. Rent-A-Rack, I think, is the company
That's
name.
what she was saving the money for, her own spice rack, so she could stop renting.
What does a spice rack cost? Can't be much.
It can't be as much as a fucking washing machine.
No shit, yeah. So Marge tries her best. She has all these things. She's doing everything. The family is there, but they're like laying on the set of the show. They're just like step over them. And she cooks. She's so proud. I think she makes a brisket, and it's time for the host to take a big bite. And he's like, "This is terrible." I didn't see that coming in. It's like, did you just put every spice you have on this? And she's like, I guess so.
Yeah.
Just like, Jesus, like, what? Marge, what made you think that would be a good idea?
I love that it's terrible, because you expect that Marge is going to save the day here.
Yeah. And so the brisket's a flop. Chef Boom brings his over, and it's a hit. So he's pretty much got the whole thing wrapped up. But the host notices that the grill marks are the honeycomb grill marks. That does not match the grill that Scotty Boom was using. So Scotty Boom is disqualified, and Marge wins by default with her shitty brisket.
Also banished from the Chew Network. Thrown off of television.
Yeah. So, that'd be a big thing if you were a celebrity chef to not be able to be on the Food Network.
Yep.
Like that's a lot of screen time that you're missing out on. So now we know what happened. I think it's maybe Bart that notices it too. He's the first one to wake from his depressed stupor. His line, this garlic sucking tunnel trash stole our smoker. Christ, did I laugh at that.
Because Scotty Boom is constantly referencing New York, that he's from New York.
Everything's New York. But still no goddamn fucking hive to be found. The smoker's still missing. Bart and Lisa noticed the ringtone of a phone that was the same ringtone as the guy that Nelson got that cash handoff for. So the chase begins anew. They finally catch up to him. Turns out it's a kid, probably like a teenager, like a bit older than Bart and Lisa.
Right.
A kid by the name of Tyler Boom. You can imagine, part of the Boom family.
Played by Bobby Moynihan of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, no shit. Okay. Turns out that ever since Chef Boom became a famous celebrity chef, he has no time for his family. So poor Tyler feels neglected. That's when him and his grandma concoct a plan. So they actually, they're the ones that procured the grill, and they set up Chef Boom for failure by swapping out meat. The old meat swap, classic con. And so he knew that the honeycomb grill marks would give it away, and he knew that would end up with him being blackballed. So that was his plan. Pretty much worked if it wasn't for those darn pesky Simpson kids.
And it did work. They got the dad fired from TV.
That is true, yeah.
And this is all just so he can spend more time with his dad.
Yeah. And at this time, the dad, Scotty, shows up, and him and Tyler have a moment where they embrace and this and that. I'm sorry. Sorries are spread. It's a real sweet celebrity chef son moment. We've seen it a million times. And now the Booms are one happy family. They give the grill back. And that's, as we've seen a lot, that quick tie a bow episode over, but it ain't over because we get an addendum, and this is a good addendum.
I loved it.
Yeah, we get fucking Marge and Nelson trading washing machine for grill. We get the grill at Nelson's wedding where they're cooking frog carcasses on it. And then it just keeps going back where it's some post-apocalyptic world where bands of hyper-aggressive hogs are fucking just wreaking havoc. We get like post-apocalyptic Nelson or Milhouse, which I thought was good.
And Ralphie is there, like all Mad Maxed out.
Yeah, so good. And then it's just post-humanity. Like, there's just sand over everything, and this spaceship lands that kind of resembles the grill. And these bee humanoids come out, and they see the blinking light of the grill, and they pull it out of the sand and take it with them. So I thought that little end was good.
Because it fell from space. It's theirs. Like,
yeah, right? Yeah,
you get the impression that they've been searching for it.
Yeah. Oh, I never even thought of that. That they've been on the hunt for millennia looking for this thing.
Yeah, that old pitmaster's tale was true, that it fell from space.
Yeah. Speaking of him, there was a good, like, he apparently dies or almost immediately. He talks to Homer in the clouds. And as the booms make up, the family got their grill back. He comes up and says some wisdom about how, families are like this. It's this and this and this, but if you do it just right, this and fucking Homer just looks up. Yep, barbecue is good.
That's what he took. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other guy's like, I like other foods. I like Chinese food's really good. And Homer's like, depends on the place. So that was a good. This by far my favorite of the batch.
Easily, this episode is so fucking good.
Yeah, this was a good one.
That old pitmaster played by Edward James Olmos, by the way.
No shit, dude. That's an interesting pull for this.
And the song that plays over that end bit of Dystopian Future is the True Detective theme song.
Is it? I knew it was Handsome Family. That like husband wife that guy has a really deep voice, but. You're right. They were the ones that did the True Detective theme. I didn't even put that together either.
Yeah, that was fun. There's a great fucking joke earlier. I think it's right after the hive gets stolen. Homer is talking to that pitmaster up in the clouds, and rather than like have any wisdom, he just goes, "Up here, I can watch anyone in the world take a shower."
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least this batch turned positive at the end. That was a fun episode.
You got any friends deep into that smoke life? Because
oh yeah,
we're at a point now. Fucking everybody's at least got a pellet grill, if not a fucking real deal smoker.
I got buddies that set the alarm for 4 a.m. So they go put something out so it's ready at 4 p.m.
I got one buddy that is like ultra deep into it. He's like buying fucking 50-pound bags of empty pecan shells and soaking them in whiskey for 3 weeks and loading the smoker up. Fucking this pork butt's got to cook for 16 hours, and every 44 minutes I go spritz it with a mimosa, get a good glaze. Yeah, he's super deep into it.
Which, man, I hope I always have friends that are into it because I fucking love good smoked meat. That's
if I had a house instead of an apartment, I could see myself living that life. Just fucking
be a beef
ribs.
Boy.
Yeah, I love barbecue, so I wouldn't mind being good at it.
Yeah, have a smoker, a grill, Jesus, all sorts of options.
I got a friend back home I went to high school with who went down that road of I got a 8,000 gallon fuel tank that I washed out, and that's my smoker, and we pull it on a trailer and cater weddings and shit. Like, he went deep into that life.
You do what you love, you don't work a day in your life.
Yeah, that's right. You chase the meat sweats from one town to the next.
It's like a dirt track racing.
It's not horribly different than what we do, frankly.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. I mean, they're providing a much better service, I think. I think we're both very talented, but I'll take smoke meat over Chuckles anymore.
Yeah, I think we're both very funny comics, but I would rather eat brisket than listen to either of us tell jokes. So,
God, good brisket, yeah.
God damn it, I bet barbecue pays way better too. God damn it. We fucked up, Nathan.
It's not too late.
We chose the wrong life path.
One of us has to sell our car and buy a food truck.
All right. I mean, God damn it. We're both middle-aged men. Certainly we can pool together enough money to buy at least a smoker. Like, maybe we got to work up to food truck.
Yeah. Us fucking coming to comedy gigs with steaming hot brisket in the trunk of my Mercury Sable.
That's how you should start booking shows. Like, book it as dinner and a show. Like, we show up, we smoke all this meat, we feed people and then tell them jokes. They're going to be so fucking drowsy with the fucking meat-itis. They're going to be half asleep anyway. They're not going to know if we're funny or not.
Yeah, they won't be riled up. They can't throw beer bottles at us. This might not be a bad idea.
Yep, I think you and I need to follow this train of thought.
If the set's going poorly and the crowd seems agitated, we just make another round with the brisket and just load them up again.
If somebody's heckling, you toss them a hot link. You just got a stack of them on the stool next to you instead of a water bottle.
Yeah, get real good at it. You're just a flick of the wrist. Just one hopping onto their plate.
Boo, you suck. And just fling like a throwing star. Just fling a fucking smoked chicken wing in their mouth.
Then you just hear them nibbling.
Great show.
Getting hot in here. Oh,
so sweaty.
They just hear him gently snoring.
What's the brown sugar content on that sauce? Oh, it's a lot. He's going to be asleep a while.
It's alarming.
We didn't bring his insulin to the show.
Well, someone go get it.
Otherwise, he's going to be real quiet for the rest of this show. We did it. They said it couldn't be done, but we watched 5 more episodes.
Here we are, kicking the saloon doors open to season 27.
Yep, it is fall of 2015 where we're at in The Simpsons. Good time. We'll do it again next week, I guess. May as well.
Why not?
Got nothing else going on. We are going to do episodes 3 through 7 of season 27 of The Simpsons. Anything going on in life? Isn't Labor Day this weekend?
Coming up, yeah, I think it would be. I haven't labored much this year. I don't know how hard I can go. I don't want to be known as a poser.
You don't deserve like time off. You don't deserve recreation because you haven't done labor.
Yeah.
It's like you're stealing valor, but labor.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It is. If you're in America, it is Labor Day this weekend. So if you work a good job that cares about you, you get Monday off.
And perhaps even paid.
Perhaps.
Oh, I missed the days of paid holidays.
Yeah. Good times, right? I didn't have those for most of my life, so I bet it was 2018 when I got a job there. I had paid holidays, and I was
kidding. Yeah.
Look at this.
So one thing with those soulless customer service jobs, they're usually corporate enough that you get paid holidays.
Yeah, not the ones I was doing until that one. So enjoy your Labor Day weekend if you celebrate. And watch your Simpsons and maybe get a hold of some barbecue if you can.
There you go.
And we will be back doing this next week. Again, episodes 3 through 7 of season 27 is your homework. You can find us on the internet at Barley Basket USA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. BarleyBasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address. And we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.